All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're doing a Minnesota Vikings film study in this video. Now, we're mainly going to talk about this offensive line, J.J. McCarthy, who unfortunately has already been ruled out for week 3. But it was a tough home debut for J.J. McCarthy in this Minnesota Vikings offense. I think the defense did a really good job keeping them in this football game the whole time. I wanted to know a little bit more because, like I said, J.J. McCarthy unfortunately is ruled out for week 3. So you're going to have Carson Wentz be the starter. But here are the offensive line rankings because when I watched this football game back, and we're going to break down so much tape in this video, I hope it doesn't drag on too long. Let me know if you like this style of content. We're testing something new. Justin School, this is pass blocking efficiency through week 2 in the whole NFL, and this is per PFF. Justin School, left tackle, 70 out of 70th. Donovan Jackson, left guard, 63rd out of 69th. Michael Juergens, 29th out of 34. Right guard Will Fry is 67th out of 69. And then Brian O'Neill has been the best by far at 16 out of 70. So no Christian Darrisaw. We're just going to break all this down. We're going to break all this down in tape. So let's get into it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We just did our little intro here. I want to take a look at J.J. McCarthy here because I think context matters all the time in the National Football League, especially for a youngster in J.J. Now, it's 3rd and 7. This is the Vikings' first possession, all right? Aaron Jones just had like a negative 1-yard rush here. The first couple of plays were a little bit weird. Actually, I don't think Aaron Jones had a negative 1-yard rush. Maybe it was like 1 or 2. But anyways, it's 3rd and 7 here. It's the first drive of the game for Minnesota. And here we go. Here's what ends up happening. J.J. actually gets 6 with his legs. I was kind of surprised. I guess his knee goes down right there. I was kind of surprised that this was ruled short. Now, when I look at this, because we're going to get to the offensive line here in just a second. When I look at this play, and I have to be critiqueful, first off, it really looks like, first off, the nearest defender for Atlanta is right here. It kind of feels, and where this is just a little rough estimate, kind of feels like JJ should be able to win with his legs here, but you actually kind of see a little slight hesitation right there, that pump fake. Now, he pump faked it right over here. You can throw this football. It's 3rd and 7. You can try and get it with your legs. He's like pretty much right about to cross the line of scrimmage. Aaron Jones is right here. And I think Aaron Jones is who you throw this football to. Now, they always say don't throw across the body midfield, but I think the context in this situation is I think you should throw it. Now, you're going to see in so many of these clips, and it's really unfortunate, this defensive line was really dominant for the Atlanta Falcons. JJ ended up getting sacked 6 total times in this football game. They run a nice stunt here where Jalen Walker is going to be able to come onto the inside. So he's getting kind of like a double team. He's trying to get both of these blockers all tied up. You're actually going to see right tackle Brian O'Neill get a little bit beat here, which is going to make JJ step into it. But really nice stunt here from the Atlanta Falcons defense, number 11, Jalen Walker. And he gets inside, and that means J.J. McCarthy now has to get mobile. And you've also got, the edge rusher here on Brian O'Neill, who's about to get into this as well. So we end up seeing J.J. run. I would make this throw right now because this is past the first down marker, and Aaron Jones has a first down. I would also do it right here. But at the end of the day, J.J. just does kind of like a dumb little pump fake that nobody bites on, and they end up being short. And then the play after this, JJ in the center, Ryan Kelly, before his injury, they muff the handoff. It's a quarterback sneak, and I didn't want to show you, but I just kind of thought it was, dumb in general. But this gives the ball to the Atlanta Falcons right out of the gate in their own territory, or in the Minnesota Vikings enemy territory. All right, guys, it is 3rd and 2 here. And by the way, if you like this style of content, let me know down below. I didn't see any Vikings film studies out there. I was kind of surprised. But yeah, let me know if you like to watch this kind of content. This comes at an unfortunate time because the Vikings just lost 22-6 a couple of days ago, and now J.J. McCarthy is injured. But I really like making this style of content. Also, do have a Vikings channel. Haven't posted it in a while. We're definitely trying to get that going as soon as possible. Now, when I watch this back, it's 3rd and 2. So the first down marker is pretty much right here. You don't need too many yards. And there's a couple of options you could take. Like right now, JJ's not looking the right way, but you could throw it to Hawkinson. Looks like he's looking right. I think this is going to be Jalen Naylor. I would let this ball go right now and just throw some anticipation like he does at a couple times in this game. And I would just hit Jalen Naylor for the first down right here. But unfortunately, he holds on the ball a little bit too long. He's going through his progressions, maybe Adam Thielen, maybe TJ Hawkinson down here. And James Pierce is able to get to him. Now, I'm going to show you this. We just talked about stunts in the last play. You see a really good stunt here from the Atlanta Falcons, which, by the way, I watched that whole Buccaneers game, Atlanta Bucks week 1, and this Falcons defense, they had 6 sacks on JJ, but this Falcons defense, man, they're coming with a vengeance. So here we go. Your defensive tackle is going to try and get Donovan Jackson and Justin School, the left tackle right here. Try and get these guys, and then what James Pierce is going to ultimately do, he's going to fake it and run inside, and he's so close to this defensive tackle's hips right here. Ororoho, I've never been able to say that. Ruke Ororoho for the Atlanta Falcons, number 98. So you can actually see Donovan Jackson, the starting left guard, the rookie, he kind of reads this. So James Pierce right here, number 27, waits for this to happen. He stays so close to 98's hips here, which is the difference maker, because what happens on a lot of these stunts is they go a little too outside, and then it's going to be you're going to have Donovan Jackson be able to kind of try and stop that stunt. So what ends up happening is he chips 98, Donovan Jackson. James Pierce gets downhill, and Donovan Jackson, the left guard, he's just too late here. And this is really just one heck of a play from the young rookie, SEC boy. Donovan Jackson sees this coming. He's just too late. And James Pierce, like I keep saying, man, those two rookies, those two first rounders for Atlanta's looking good. Now, I showed you I would throw this ball to Jalen Naylor. I think JJ McCarthy, first off, like I said, the two things I noticed watching the tape in this game is JJ needs to get the ball out way quicker, and the offensive line isn't doing him any favors. All 5 of them, except maybe the right tackle, Brian O'Neill. But it kind of looks like JJ, I don't know if he sees the pressure right here. Obviously, he sees the pressure, and he's going through his progressions and trying to hit Thielen right here. But it's only a 3rd and 2, so they don't convert. So I want to just throw this in because at this point in time, it was 2 back-to-back 3-and-outs, and then Atlanta drives a little bit. Eric Wilson ends up getting the fumble, and Minnesota's football here. So this is the first play coming off that turnover. Now you're going to see JJ with a really nice move, and you're going to lose my arrow right here. But this is the first play, and we have seen no first downs for the Vikings offense. JJ McCarthy's longest completion is like 2 yards. So they run this, and it's clear as day. He's going right here to Justin Jefferson, gets the separation. He throws it right before he makes this, just makes that turn. So he throws it to JJ. This ball's in a good spot, and unfortunately, it's actually only a gain of 9 yards. But more of this little stuff, more of this small stuff where you're throwing it to Justin Jefferson, more of these first reads, because if we go back to this pass protection, it's really solid here. It's play action. He knows where he's throwing this football to, and they keep him clean, and it's a 9-yard gain. All right, they've been able to sustain this drive. They're on the 30-yard line of the Atlanta Falcons. Oh, that was the worst line ever. But it's 1st and 10. And this play, watching it live, didn't make much sense to me. Looking back at it, doesn't make much sense to me. You're going to see Leonard Floyd down here just come away with an easy sack. And I'll show it to you from this angle because I'm still a little bit confused here. What ends up happening, and I'll just show it to you this angle, it's a little pump fake to Aaron Jones, and Leonard Floyd bites like a little bit on that, but this is a savvy vet, and the bite's not strong enough. So, if you're JJ, there's not much you can do here. He bites a little bit on this fake. Maybe you can try and sell this a little bit more, but obviously right now he's not bitten on that at all. You've got pressure on your right side. Leonard Floyd is literally unblocked. Just throw this ball to Aaron Jones right here because, TJ Hawkinson, there's 4 dudes right here. There's nothing much you don't have enough time to see whatever's about to play out, and he's just going to end up getting sacked here. And this is what just kills drives. And so when we look at this film here, I don't know exactly what goes on. So Ryan Kelly points to number 55 right here. So what he's signaling is he's about to blitz. So this is 55. He lines up on the right. So I'm thinking maybe you've got 1, you've got 2, here you're going to have to pick up him. You're going to have to pick up him, something. I don't know exactly what this is. I don't know if it's a blown everything, because I'll show you what I'm looking at here. Number 76, the right guard, Will Fries, he doesn't do anything here, right? He's just kind of caught in a sandwich, and now Leonard Floyd's unblocked. The blitzer's unblocked. It's a play action. So 27, he goes in there. Maybe he just takes the wrong route. 27, Jordan Mason takes the wrong gap here, and he should be stopping this blitzer here. But it kind of looks like his hands are open, like he's about to get that ball. So I don't know. This was just kind of a dumb thing that happened here, one of the many sacks. We've got a blown play here from JJ, and it's an interesting concept. You've got somebody running back here, all right? So the jet sweep. Now he's going to kind of like fake pitch this to number 27, Jordan Mason, and this comes after 2 really nice throws. He just had a really nice 19-yarder to Jalen Naylor, then had a 17-yarder to Adam Thielen a couple plays after or before that. He ends up losing this ball, and he does a good job of almost, kind of making random stuff happen. Picks that ball up, but this is just the small stuff where you're just shooting yourself on the foot here, and you're not doing yourself any favors. This is a really tough throw with a runner. And you got Jesse Bates right here, number 3. He's one of the best safeties in the league. You got to get it over him, but you also have to put the proper touch on Adam Thielen. This is just the unfortunate stuff that can happen over the course of a game, but it's expected when you have these young QBs. All right, guys, let me know if these videos are a little bit too cynical, but here's Justin School on the left, and I apologize. I haven't shown you too much good in this game so far. We're not even at halftime. I could make an hour-long video doing all this stuff, but here we go. It's the next play after that last, muffed snap, that little fumble, and JJ ends up scrolling out. But here we go. I was saying the offensive line isn't doing him any favors. We got Justin School and Jalen Walker here on our left side. It's a play action, and by the time the play action has already gone on, you can't do anything about this. So, right, you're running, it's a play action, and then just like that, Jalen Walker gets right past Justin School, and he takes him to school. There's really nothing you can do to stop this other than block him better than that, and Jalen Walker just gets right on through, and Minnesota is going to have to settle for a field goal. But it's still only 6-3 after this, but this is kind of what I was saying with the offensive line's not helping him out here. And when Christian Darrisaw comes back, it's going to be a really big deal for whoever's the quarterback, Carson Wentz in week 3 or J.J. McCarthy moving forward. One of the best plays of the game for the Vikings, probably the best offensive play for Minnesota in this football game, comes at a really interesting point because this goes for 50 yards to J.J. McCarthy, and this is a nasty route ran by Justin Jefferson, who's right down here. But there's 13 seconds left in the half here. It's only 9-3, but JJ gets sacked the play before this, but somebody got injured. I don't know if it was AJ Terrell. I can't remember somebody gets injured, so there's an injury timeout. Minnesota, you're expecting, okay, you're on the 17-yard line. There's 15 seconds left. You got a young quarterback. You're just going to run the clock out. They say no, and J.J. McCarthy throws it to Justin Jefferson, who does this unbelievable route right here, just really baits this safety, and then JJ gives it a throw, and I love it. And this is how you end the half. And even though the whole first half was not going good, they could not sustain a long drive, they could not score a touchdown, you get really good pass protection right here, And this is right when JJ's about to throw it, and we got Justin Jefferson who's going to come right back into the middle of the field, whips it to him, and it's perfectly thrown. So there wasn't all bad. And yeah, let's move on to the next half. Here's a really good play at JJ using his feet. 5 carries, 25 yards. This one goes for 16. Now it's 2nd and 20. We're a couple of possessions into the third quarter. Minnesota has not been able to get anything going offensively. It's still only a close game. It's 12-6 right now. Atlanta just put up a field goal. And you're going to see JJ, like I said, it's 2nd down, 2nd and 20. Aaron Jones is open right here. Maybe you want TJ Hawkinson right here, but he's getting pressured. He feels that pressure. Then once again, maybe you can throw it to Aaron Jones right here, but he decides to do it with his feet. And you see, sorry, we're so zoomed out on all 22. Aaron Jones has a huge block right there, huge block. And JJ's able to get outside and pick up 16. So I liked this. We're just seeing JJ's athletic ability. And I did just see literally right before I made this video that Aaron Jones I saw is placed on the IR. So hate to see that, but huge block right there. And yeah, they're just a banged up offense right now. One of the big reasons I'm not too worried about this Minnesota Vikings team is, first off, yeah, they're banged up right now, like I just mentioned, but the defense I still think looks really good. Brian Flores doing what he needs to do on the defensive side of stuff. And when I was talking earlier on in the video that they just kind of shot themselves in the foot here, the communication wasn't the best, whatever it was. It's stuff like this where you're going to see J.J. McCarthy, like on the stat sheet, this is going to count as just a fumble and a fumble lost. But what we see here is, Divine Diablo right here, number 0, is about a blitz. And what is this? Jurgens does a good job of picking that up. But what you get here is a double team with Brian O'Neill and Will Fries on the defensive tackle here. And I don't know what is going on here, what the missed communication, the missed protection call. I'm not sure if Brian O'Neill thinks Aaron Jones is going to chip him right here. That wouldn't really make much sense to me, but you just see a blown protection call, and he's not even looking in the vicinity of, who is this? I'm trying to get a name here. Zach Harrison? He goes untouched completely, and then JJ coughs up the ball, and Divine Diablo falls on it, but how is an edge rusher unaccounted for? I mean, that's really baffling to me. So if you can clean this stuff up, then this isn't going to happen. It's 12-6. They're on the 50-yard line. They're a touchdown away from having this lead, and you're all the way in the fourth quarter, first play in the fourth quarter, and that happens. So you can't have that happen. So a couple of things irk me about this. You have Jalen Naylor running a slot fade. It's 15-6 right now. It's 3rd and 1. Here's the first down marker. You need 1 yard on this football play. And here's what ends up happening. Jalen Naylor, deep ball. It ends up not working, right? So let's take a look down here. What's Justin Jefferson end up running? Another deep route, another go route. I'm not quite sure. This is 3rd and 1. So you're thinking, all right, Minnesota's down 15-6. Okay, so they're going to take a deep shot because you have one-on-one coverage with Justin Jefferson. You also have one-on-one coverage with Jalen Naylor. So we're going to take this deep shot. He has his cornerback beat. This should be a touchdown. The ball's just slightly overthrown. You got to just balloon this just a little bit more. That's the issue we've seen with JJ on these deep balls and just in general in the first 2 weeks is not the best touch. But also, he hasn't played football in a really long time. So I think that touch and chemistry and timing is going to come throughout this season. But you would think that, all right, they're taking this deep shot, and now first off, you got to make this throw. If you're an NFL starting quarterback, you have to make this throw because this is a touchdown. But you're thinking they're taking this deep shot. No, they punt on the next play. All right, guys, I'm actually going to end it there. Now, there was a lot more we could have talked about in this football game. I can still do a Vikings defensive film study. Let me know if you guys want a part 2 down below. But watching this football game really irked me. First off, you're probably not going to win a game where your quarterback's getting sacked 6 times. You're not going to win a football game scoring less than or having less than 200 yards of offense. you're probably not going to win a football game throwing 2 interceptions. I know that last one, kind of mute point, but you're probably not going to win a football game only having 11 completions. At the end of the day, I think JJ McCarthy really saved this stat line as far as yards per carry. So I'll look at Jordan Mason, 9 carries, 30 yards, 3.3 yards per carry. At the end of the day, I think this Falcons defensive line just came in with a really good game plan and executed perfectly. And there were just too many small mistakes for this Vikings team that just added up and added up as the game progressed. And you're not going to win an NFL game not scoring a touchdown. So that's just what happened. And like I said, I really do think, first off, I hope Ryan Kelly at center and the concussion is all good. I know the right side of the football is going to be fine. I know Will Fries is going to get it together. I know Brian O'Neill is good. I know when Christian Darrisaw comes back, I think the offensive line will run much more smooth. And it's just kind of one of those linked points. If you're losing the line of scrimmage, if you're not able to run the football, if defensive linemen, defensive tackles are able to just get to your quarterback at will, and he's under constant duress, you're probably just not going to win that football game. So I'm curious what the game plan is going to look like week 3 against the Cincinnati Bengals and Jake Browning, and also having Carson Wentz as the starting quarterback. So it's week 2. I think Atlanta Falcons are definitely a playoff contender. I think they're a really good football team with this new defense. And that's it for me. Let me know if this video was a little too negative. Let me know if you like this style of content. Started doing this in the last couple of weeks because I just want the more community feel on the channel, and you're kind of just sick of all the clickbait and all that kind of stuff. So let me know if you like this stuff and any thoughts from this Vikings game/video. Let me know what you want next, and we'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your night or day. Peace.